Morning, everybody. Welcome to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm your host. I have Mike Dillon with me this morning, a former school committeeman, and gym owner, which is quite interesting. And they do a program with special needs children, which is quite impressive. So, what's happening? The budgets must be coming out. What's happening with the Lowell schools, do you think?
Layoffs. Yeah, for sure. I think every department in the city is going to experience some layoffs.
It should all come from administration. People who serve, like the teachers, they should not get laid off. The parish shouldn't get laid off. Administration's got to go. Bye-bye.
Never see it.
That's what's got to happen. Well, you just tell the school committee, demand of your superintendent, no classroom layoffs.
Well,
Comes from every angle, because
And the same thing with the city council. The selectmen, you just tell them there'll be no layoffs. People who push brooms, nobody's going to get laid off. If you're out in the workforce, working every day, painting, whatever for the city or the town, you're not getting laid off. Pick somebody from town hall. Bye-bye, butterfly. Get rid of the dead wood.
I know it's not going to happen, but somebody's got to step up and say, let's look at last positions added. Any position that has anything to do with DEI or anything to do with
Well, it's a
training
good,
for
it's
our
a good
teachers
way
in
to
that
get,
area,
good way
see
to
you
get-
later. Same thing with the city.
Get rid of dead wood. If you have dead wood in administration, and there are dead wood in administration, not many, but there are.
Mhm.
Bye butterfly.
Nobody wants to talk about it, though. They'll just
No.
change the name of the...
But you know who she knows? You know who her dad is?
Yeah.
You know who her grandfather is?
That's toughest with the school. That's tough with the school, too, because the teachers' union pushes... They push
Special
advocating
people.
for those positions like they are a person.
This is-
And unfortunately, that makes it really, really personal.
This is Paul George's last year, isn't he retiring?
Don't know. Whenever Paul leaves,
Supposed
it'll
to.
be a sad day for the teachers. Paul's done well for the teachers.
Yeah.
But I'm
I wonder who'll
disappointed
take
to
his
learn
place.
Lawrence teachers make more than Lowell teachers.
Really?
Yep.
Oh. Well,
Be interesting to see that pay
By
scale.
like 10 grand.
really?
Yeah.
I would have thought that.
Do you know, is that starting or like starting salary?
I asked AI last week. That's how I know this stuff. I don't follow Lawrence.
Yeah.
But somebody from they had gotten a job in Lawrence, and the way it works is if you want a job in Lowell, you can't get a job in Lowell, but they'll get you a job. The connected people will get you a job in Lawrence, and the Lawrence connected people will get you a job in Lowell. That's how it works.
Really?
Well, yesterday, your friend, your selectman or your school committee friend in town would get you a job in town. But administration doesn't like that because they can call you up and bellyache to you. I don't like how the boss is teaching me, and the boss might find himself walking out the door. So you send them to Lawrence. Who are you going to call? It short circuits that, so the boss keeps his job.
That's interesting. How is the superintendent doing? How's he managing?
He's skating on thinner and thinner ice. There
Aw.
are those that say when Connie Martin is back up at the helm, that he'll be good. I like the guy.
She loves wielding her power, whatever
And,
minimal power she has on
He'll
the
be,
school
he'll be
committee.
gone.
What a shame. I thought that he, I thought he was
You don't
maybe a
know.
long termer.
You didn't hire
Surprise.
my sister. You didn't hire my sister.
Surprise, we're going to hire another superintendent, abuse them, and get rid of them after.
Wow.
3
I
years.
thought he might have broke that pattern. He'd been in the system. He'd,
He's
disciplined.
he's the smartest guy in the room. Smartest guy in the room. And they try to bully him as if they're, superior to him. It's pathetic.
Do they not? Now, he was going in, he started trying to enforce some discipline issues. How's that going? Not good for him.
I mean, the results aren't there as far as I wish he was the principal in every building in the city because I know when he's in charge of a building, that building's going to be operating the way a school building should. But he's an anomaly. And most people, the way things are put down from the state. Me and Lee were on here talking about it last time. The state's opinion is that pretty much any form of discipline is heavy-handed discipline, and that's always shown as a weakness. So you have to be an absolute all-star to operate within the system that the state gives us in order to maintain discipline in the schools. It's because it's the numbers are, if they're skewed in any direction towards any particular race or gender or whatever that type of group they want to put forward at the time, then they'll just pretend that there is no discipline problem and they'll ignore it. And that's how it seems to run. If you're not Liam Skinner, I mean, Liam was incredible as an administrator, and somehow he was able to still make his buildings run the way they should. But it's difficult to do. You're handcuffed in a lot of ways, but.
It's now that it's not. You're not any closer to neighborhood schools, are you?
No.
I just don't get that at all.
Comment from the audience. That would be a huge mistake. If they got rid of the superintendent, he runs a tight ship, he's solid.
Yeah, that's everything I've heard.
Well put.
It's he's really good at what he does, and he's turning some things around. But it's hard if you don't get any support.
Yeah, it's again, we don't know how good we have it. This is a guy who has been in our system, came up through the ranks, and again, I say he's typically the smartest guy in the room, and other districts would be happy to have him, but the
Ooh.
school committee likes to talk, and they like to push people around, and they don't think that they're doing their job unless they're making more rules and pushing the superintendent around because they can.
Well, Tewksbury
pathetic.
Superintendent Flanagan is resigning this year, retiring. So, be a nice little town for a while. I'd love to see him come to Tewksbury.
Don't do it.
You don't
Yeah,
want me
I
to
mean,
take him from
he could work wherever he wants. He'd be highly sought after if he was ever to leave this district, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. Unfortunately,
Well,
Connie takes somehow. Bob Conway is all over him too, from what I can tell.
really?
Yeah,
That's very disappointing.
I mean,
Mike, how do you feel about the MCAS scores?
you got to update me.
We're not doing any better.
Of course not. No.
Well, what's the goal? Education or jobs?
Jobs, probably more.
The real goal is education of our children.
I don't know. The union will tell you it's the kids, but it doesn't seem that way.
Well, then why does the union promote 100% of them? Doesn't keep any back.
Nobody stays back in Lowell.
Why don't we,
Eh,
why
eh,
do they force their teachers to pass students that don't deserve passing?
It's a good question. That's what communist countries do. Fudge the numbers to make things look like everybody's even. That's what we're doing in our education system.
Well, the fact that there are a lot of kids who can't read that are in high school.
Yes.
Oh, I hear that all the yeah.
Any veiled threats that the school district gives you for your child, absences, lack of grades, your child's going on to the next grade next year.
No matter
Parents.
what happens, that's right. Nobody stays back.
Yeah. So,
So what does that tell the child?
they don't have to.
I don't have to apply
Zero
myself.
accountability. Yeah.
But it isn't just Lowell, because I was talking to a teacher.
No,
In
it's not.
Whittier.
It does come down from the top.
Yeah, and she says
Teachers didn't
Desi.
just make
All I
that.
had to do was mention Desi, and she went out of her mind.
I couldn't, but when I was coaching at Lowell High, the big thing was that teachers were not allowed to give below a 60. And that was not their decision to just start. So kids get an 80 in the first term, and then second term they know that they don't have to do any work because the lowest they can get is a 60, and 70 for the year.
That's horrible.
That's how communist countries operate. They fudge the numbers in order to make everybody look even, because that's just easier. It's just easier to do that way.
What a shame.
And then they don't have to explain away any of the discrepancies in success in their district, and they can say we're all living harmoniously together, and every race is on the same mediocre level, and nobody is getting ahead of anybody else, and that's how things work. In Venezuela, when they had a problem with children dying from malnutrition, you know how they handled that situation? They told doctors they could no longer write malnutrition as a cause of death on death certificates. So no kids died of malnutrition anymore. And
Same
that's
thing
how
happened
the
in
country
Same thing
continues to
happened in
operate.
Massachusetts. They stop putting heart attack as your guess of cause of death. Stop
Yes.
putting that.
Everybody
Change
died
the
of COVID.
qualifications, and then the numbers change.
Acute myocardial infarction. That's what everybody was dying of, which is a heart attack.
Yeah.
You know how you can level off the suspension rates in the city of Lowell so that no one race is being suspended more than any other? Don't suspend kids. Everybody gets suspended at the same rate. And that's how we operate right now. It's where our discipline numbers are at.
That's dreadful.
So everybody graduates and nobody gets suspended. We're a perfect district.
It's
98% graduation rate.
Well, I gotta tell you, Mike, across the way, the Rogers School, the principal they have now, you can hear a pin drop in the hallway.
Great.
It has to do with the principal of the school. If
That's
the
an
principal
anomaly.
will tolerate
Yeah.
it, the Rogers School runs like a freaking clock.
Good to hear.
Because yesterday I walked down the hallway, it was a circus. The kids were having a ball all day, but they're supposed to be learning.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're learning.
You can tell within 5 minutes of walking in a building how that principal operates.
And the glee these kids execute when they're out playing in the yard, they're having a great time. They're
It's awesome.
loving school, which is what it should be.
Of course.
They call it the STEM Academy, or to keep Nancy Donahue happy, the STEAM Academy. But the glee that comes out of those kids, they're fantastic. Pick up their litter, they're great kids at the Rogers School. And
It's
it
awesome.
all has to do with their principal.
Well, do you think now the direction is coming from Skinner, the superintendent?
I don't know, but we got a winner here, and I would vote to keep this guy, whoever's running the Rogers. I think his name is Greg. And nice guy and easy to get along with.
Yeah, and you know what? There'd be even more influence from Liam if the school committee would get off his back and, allow him to have that influence.
Well, what goals has the school committee put out for the guy? Any?
The goals from the school committee are always crap. That's why I had such a hard time evaluating the superintendent, because I didn't agree with the goals in the first place. I thought the goals were pathetic. So then when I'm evaluating him, I'm evaluating him on what is on this sheet for
Yeah.
how he's doing, if he's meeting these goals. And I'm like, I guess he's meeting this goal, but this is a stupid goal. I guess
right,
he's
helping
meeting this goal,
education.
but this is a stupid goal. So I didn't agree with the whole process from the start, and that's why my head was spinning when, during any of those conversations, because I didn't agree with it right from the top. So, but just like we were talking about, the goals don't equate to anything that's quantifiable as far as success and the kids moving on. It's graduation rates are up. We didn't fail anybody again. Discipline numbers are down. We didn't suspend anybody again. Congratulations. And parents are still upset that, discipline issues are not being handled correctly at every classroom level. So,
Well, when you say the parents are upset, they don't want the discipline, or they do?
no, they do. Parents want it.
What?
Only the complainers don't want it. And there are a lot of complainers out there. You see
Oh.
them every time
Tell me,
you
yeah.
try to investigate something through social media, or, you only hear from the worst of the worst. And they're the only ones that care, and that's who everybody's scared of. The 5 people that come and complain at the school committee meeting, talking about nonsense typically, half of them Zoom in, and, but there are groups in the city that push all the talking points, so, and they wield a little bit of power around here, so everybody bows to it.
What happened, at one point, there was a very strong parent council in all this. In fact, that's where you got some of your your school committee members at one time. Has that gone by the wayside? Are they? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, the parent groups now just seem like they're to appease the parents. They're, we'll have these meetings. I mean, I guess it might depend on the principal and how they operate. Again, like the school site councils are maybe stronger in different schools, but they really have little opportunity to, I don't know. They were set up so that parents can have a voice and a choice in what happens in the school building. But I don't know how much comes out of each school site, and maybe in the past they were stronger. I know Kim Scott was somebody I think that started that way. She was involved in her own kids' schools, and maybe they were more influential. But now just the complainers at the meetings have more influence than than a school site council. It seems.
Is it the millennials? I say that because my granddaughter had an issue, And when she brought it to my attention, my son said how they had been to the teacher, they'd been to the principal 3 times. That I was out of my mind. I was there in 5 seconds. Do they just say, well, we can't handle it, we can't do it? What? I don't. How does that happen? That things don't get. I mean, my goodness gracious! The principal doesn't do anything.
Well, no, it's just like the conversation we've been having on discipline.
Well, I stepped in. It was done the next day.
Comment from the audience. The goal in Massachusetts is to teach the kids they all have special feelings. Little Johnny can become a girl, and Susie can become Sam. Pronouns. That's from Bart.
Yeah. Little activists. I think we have enough activists. We should probably start trying to produce
So they could read and write.
Workers and productive kids again.
Well, the high school's going to have to step up because with this lottery for the vote, it's going to be an absolute disaster.
Yeah. And we're not. I mean, we're not going to see the result of that for a little while now. But
Well, I don't know how they're going to keep the teachers in the vote. I mean, if you can't, Desi says they can't discipline them. They can't even have in-house suspension. It makes me a little crazy because they're around equipment and electricity and knives and scissors and ovens, and you've got to have a level of discipline.
the vote does well still. I mean, I don't know.
The vote's a different school committee.
It is. We'll have to talk to Lee, I guess, because I know that he's talked about when Desi came in for their observation, they did note that in-house is heavy-handed discipline, but I don't know that stopped them from from using those.
They did. Desi demanded they stop.
Yeah. See, that's pathetic. I mean, you come to a school and you walk through an entire building, and one of your only red flags or notes is that your discipline is a little heavy-handed and demand that it be stopped. Glowing results otherwise, and you can't make that connection that maybe it's because they let the kids know who's boss around that building, that it operates so well and kids are so successful coming out of there.
There have to be
doesn't make any
consequences.
sense. Anybody who's ever been an educator, it doesn't make sense to.
Do they still have unannounced visits, or do you have to have permission to go to the school if you're going to visit?
From Desi? I don't think Desi really does unannounced visits. That was probably a scheduled observation that.
But they
That
should
was
have been
done.
happy they could walk through the building and not have kids fighting and.
Desi should be invited to a school committee meeting to explain themselves.
Yeah. They're working from home.
I never met anybody
I
from
don't
Desi.
care, but let them decline to come, and now we won't follow your rules anymore. We asked you to come up here and talk to us, you won't, so to hell with you. We're gonna do as we please.
And they stopped the money.
Sue them. They'll cave just like the city. Give us our money, and we're gonna sue you personally. That's how you get it, Linda. Give us our money, or we're suing every one of you personally. And they will cave in an instant.
Well, did the governor cave on the housing thing? She held a pretty strong arm there that you wouldn't get any of your grant money if you didn't step.
Nobody has the guts to sue her.
They're all dependent on that
You're
money.
standing there with a baseball bat and saying, I'm gonna smash your head in. Go ahead and I'll sue your pants off, lady. You'll be standing there naked on 4th of July.
Has that stopped?
Put a terrible image in my head, John.
Well, no, I mean, that's what you gotta fight fire with fire.
Well, that's why I'll go back to what I said. Are the millennials up to it, up to the task? I don't know. I know they're busy, and I know they've got a lot going on, and
Administrators just wanna keep their job, duck down, lie low, keep their job, get the 3 highest years and retire,
it can't be.
like any job.
You're going to lose all your teachers, aren't you?
No.
Won't you lose your teachers?
Teachers love teaching.
I know they love it,
Teachers
but you can't teach if you have no discipline.
They love the
Teachers-
idea of being a teacher. I don't know that many of them really actually love teaching.
Teachers
Anymore.
hate to pass a kid who they know the kid can't pass. They hate passing that kid.
Yeah.
But they're forced to. At least the teachers I know. They love their job, but the strong arm stuff that comes from the administration, like pass the kid no matter what, it hurts them.
Well,
Yeah, and it's all the way up. The teachers don't like what the administrators got putting down on them. The administrators are beholden to the government money coming in, so they won't open their mouth, like you were saying, and hold anybody above them accountable, and it, all the way down the line.
Well, the vindictiveness of administration, I don't care if it's a town or city system, the vindictiveness of pushing back is terrible. The union doesn't protect them. The
Yeah.
union would just
Oh,
say,
yeah.
you're lucky to have a job.
No, you're vilified if you do step out of line.
well, okay, what's the answer there? You hold back until you have tenure? What do they do with tenure?
No, you grow some and you say something and you get vilified and your life becomes miserable and you leave teaching.
They change the school. Oh, you teach us. Linda, you're not teaching at the Rogers anymore. You're going to teach at the Butler. But I like the Rogers. Tough cookie. Head up to the Butler. See ya.
It just sounds horrible.
I'm not vilifying the Butler. I'm just saying that's an example.
I just don't understand they have to be seeing it. When you say nobody stays back, parents have to be seeing that their kids aren't getting into the schools they want them to go to. As a parent, you have to see something that they bring anything home? Don't you see any papers? Don't you? Even in high school, I saw papers that, you ask, what are you doing in history? What are you doing in
I know what you mean.
I-
And they say nothing.
And then college professors will tell you the same thing, that the kids aren't prepared when they get there.
Yeah,
And
they do
so
remedial.
Everybody's teaching to a lower level.
Except for a select group.
Comment from the audience. Sounds like DESE is the problem. Who are the people making the decisions at DESE? That's from Bart. But I have reasonable suspecting they're blaming DESE, and DESE's not demanding anything. But they're using DESE as the bat.
Well, if Desi went into the Vogue and said, you
That's
can't
why they
have,
won't invite them to a school committee meeting. Because the DESE will come up and say, we didn't tell you that. Oh, what?
no.
Well,
You're
John,
not going to back us up?
over a certain amount of years, DESE only has to make,
See any letters from DESE?
you just increase the amount of regulations that DESE has in their recommendations, and year over year over year, you develop this document of regulations, and now DESE doesn't, they don't really have to do much.
When you were on school committee, how many letters did you see from DESE demanding stuff? Or did you
No,
just,
it was all the fear of, we won't get the money. That's how everybody
That's-
and the
operates.
thing is, did you ever see that in writing?
Nope.
From DESE?
Nope,
So
just the
it's
threat.
coming from administration.
Yep.
So is administration, show me the letter. Show me the letter where they threatened to take away our money, please.
Yeah, when I asked to ask DESE about our neighborhood schools policy, everybody just backed off because of, they give us the money.
There's no
We
letter.
didn't want to question them. We didn't even want to ask them
You even
how
had
we
the
could
numbers.
go about changing
I'll
them.
bet you there's no letter.
Agreed. Agreed, but it's government dependency at its finest, because we're so scared at this point to even ask them the question because of the threat that they could somehow pull our funding. But it would take those news headlines that Lowell is Lowell's having funding held, or somebody steps up and
Mike, all I'm saying is
But-
show me the letter from DESE.
I agree with you. I don't know that they're, it's just the idea that they supply us with 70+% of our budget for our schools, so we couldn't live without them, so we can't go against them in any way possible. That was the threat that had everybody back off the neighborhood schools conversation for me. I should have just worded it differently. As soon as it came up that we would go against DESI's recommendation, I was just trying to ask, how could we possibly move to change our policy with DESI? It was more exploratory than anything, the motions that I put in. But as soon as it came up that, go against DESI, and it got framed that way, everybody was backed right up. Nope.
How much?
6-1.
What's the percentage of money you get from the state for education?
That's above 70.
Yeah. See,
I don't know the exact number at this point, but
but I'm thinking about that. But I look at the Voc, and I'm sure that it isn't the same for the Voc because they're like the towns. We don't get that percentage, that high percentage.
no.
So we're not as dependent.
They're less
but we're
yeah.
we're still dependent, I guess.
Towns are much less beholden, but it's still millions of dollars.
Yeah,
You know, it's not something that the towns want to foot for sure. But our whole system, if we didn't get money from the state for next year,
Mike,
we
again,
wouldn't even be able to put the lights on.
I'll trust them, but verify, show me the letter.
No, there is. All it is just a threat in our mind that
The fear of it.
they could withhold funding if we somehow inconvenience them with a
And
request.
just show me a letter from DESI that points that out.
I don't think you'd find one.
But the governor did that with the housing, with the MBA housing, that you must adopt this or you won't get any grants. I don't know if she sent a letter out or she just made had a news conference about it, but everybody jumped right in because they were terrified.
Whatever happened with the couple of towns that
They're
were
moving
not-
along.
wasn't Drake
They're
at-
suing them.
Wasn't Drake at one?
Yeah, they're suing them.
Tewksbury's one.
Yeah. So where's that process?
I should ask Mark Ratner where that's at.
Because that's along the lines of
I
what
think
we're
it's stuck
talking
in,
about,
I think it's
John,
stuck
right?
in the court.
So do they get the money in that case or
They have
not?
to get the money. They'll continue to get the money until the court makes a decision.
Well, that would be the way to go then, I guess.
Because that's the way I understand courts is, if you and I having a fight, the agreement that's in place before the fight started stays until the judge makes the decision. So if you were getting paid before our argument, you're gonna keep getting paid.
Well, you know what? And that will go on because the governor knows she doesn't have a leg to stand on, and I'm sure Desi doesn't as well. I mean, they just know, well, we'll just ride it out, and but we're there, and most of the people will lockstep and do what we want them to do. But I don't see who benefits from this. I'm sitting here trying to think, who can possibly...
They don't wanna pay the $18,000 twice. That's why nobody stays back. So your kid doesn't wanna get out of third grade, doesn't know how to read. Well, we just spent 18 grand educating that kid, and you wanna keep him back? That's another 18 grand we gotta spend. We don't wanna do that. Now, it's for 10% of the school system, so 10%, we'll say we have 15,000 kids. 3,000 kids stay back. Just for the sake of, times 18 grand, that's what it's gonna cost the state.
Isn't that what happened in COVID? They couldn't keep them, they couldn't have them repeat because then they'd have an extra class that they'd have to pay
Yeah,
for.
that was a logistics nightmare. I mean, how you gonna keep every kid back a grade? You know, you're talking about during COVID, like
Yeah.
keeping the whole grade or the whole.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because
you'd
they
be talking
you
about
pushed
keeping the
them
whole
on.
city back and having another class of kids come in. I mean,
You'd pay for a whole other class. You'd be paying
Yeah.
double for that class. And I suppose you'd
not
be
even
paying,
financially though. I mean, that would be
you wouldn't have
a
room.
logistics nightmare. I feel like just putting kids into place. I don't know.
So,
I don't know. It was a fair idea because those kids missed out on full school years, and But how do you go and do that with the whole population when you have more? You still have more kids coming in the next year.
so is anybody doing anything about that, Mike? Is anybody following up on that and realizing that what they did to the students?
No.
The effect it had on them? Because now are they in high school? What grade? Some of them are in high school now. It must be taking a terrible toll on them.
Yeah. No.
Do
of
they
course.
just say, "Oh, that was during COVID, so, we'll
Yeah,
Well,
it's
cuff
just
that
gonna-
or whatever.
Well, there's not gonna be anything that comes out of it. I mean, yeah, of course, people will be studying it forever, but, what I learned is that school doesn't mean a thing. I used to think school was important and being there every day was important, but they've reinforced to us that school really, showing up to school every day for a kid doesn't really mean it. Doesn't mean a thing.
Well, definitely with the lottery.
Kid's gonna pass no matter what, and we were able to just not even send our kids to school for a year and a half at least, even more, and depending on where you were at, and didn't matter. That
Did the parents pick it up the slack there? What?
No.
you'd like to think as many did as possible, but no. I mean,
There was no instruction to it.
that's just lost time. That
That's almost
it's there's a lot of bad long-term investment going on in the whole education system. We're pushing through kids. Nobody's failing, just like John said, and yeah, maybe it's because of the $18,000 a year that they don't want to pay for the kids that are staying back, but that's a bad long-term investment for the state, every city, every neighborhood, because we're just not educating our kids properly, and there's no dollar sign on that in the long run, but it's certainly going to lower expectations for how well our communities do and how well the state of Massachusetts does, but the dollar signs are powerful now, not down the line. Same with,
I don't grasp and again, my son is that age. I don't grasp the fact that the parents aren't upset. I mean, you'll have a student that disrupts the class, and it's allowed to go on. And in this situation, they just paid no regard. They just I can't imagine going to a principal 3 times and having no support, no action done. It didn't take a lot. I mean, it's I don't understand the mentality of the parents not stepping up.
Here's a picture, an old picture from Zoom days.
that kid's got a good setup there.
Yeah.
He's got his head propped up.
Yeah, that's what, this kid is now probably in high school. This is his sister in the background here.
What a star student that sister is. Look at her. She's got all her,
Well, some kids love school.
that girl wants to thrive no matter what.
Yeah.
Look at, she's
And
got
there it is. There it
boards
is,
up
isn't it?
everywhere. I bet she is an
She'll be
amazing
president
student.
someday.
Yeah, seriously.
The kids that like to learn will learn,
But this was
regardless. Is that what we're doing?
commonplace during COVID.
But it doesn't it defeat all their nonsense about DEI? The people supposedly they were so concerned about, they're really kicking to the curb. They're not helping them at all.
Yep. I mean,
Eh.
I don't know how many times I said that we were not serving the poorest kids in the city of Lowell during the COVID situation, but they don't want to hear it. They didn't want to hear it then because they were. Paul Georges was telling everybody that kids were susceptible to the disease and they're going to die. I mean, we had no chance of being productive through that time period.
Wow.
Teachers are going to die, children are going to die, grandparents are going to die. I mean, that was the fear coming from the unions all over the country. And nobody would tell them to stuff it, unfortunately.
And I don't know if there'll be any recourse against anybody ever about that. I mean,
Nope.
they complain about it and they say it was a terrible thing and Fauci was a very bad man, but he's I don't know, he's retired somewhere and living the good life.
At the time, we didn't know. It was scary.
Okay, all right, but even if
That's
we
what
didn't
it
know,
comes back to.
but we know now. No, there's
Yeah.
never any. Nobody's accountable
There's
for
no
anything.
verification. We take people at their word.
Oh, we sure did then.
verification. And bring back Ronald Reagan, trust but verify. Where's the letter from DESE, Mr. Superintendent?
that sort of set the stage for horrible things. Or maybe not. Maybe then people now it will never happen again. I don't know, because it was frightening to think how we all just stepped up and did what they told us to do.
It was pathetic. And
But-
you know, when I look back on just being on the school committee, it's odd that I served during that time, and it seemed like things were not productive, but it was the best thing that could have happened to me, because I got to see how decisions were being made on a small scale around here, in a room with supposed important people around the city. And then I heard what was, coming from a national level or a worldwide level on the whole thing, and it just, you don't have to, all you got to do is look at a person and hear what they're saying to decipher like what's going on in that situation. I'm like, wait a minute, this is how decisions are being made here? I mean, on the local level, and this is what we're hearing from these national, world level important people, and I have a good perception when somebody's lying to my face.
Yeah.
And, can think logically, and none of it made sense. And when things don't make sense, they don't make sense.
Comment from the audience, we're all being replaced by robots? So you are correct, Mike. School doesn't mean a thing. LOL, that's from Bart.
Yeah. Well, yesterday the news was that a robot ran a marathon. Who cares? Who cares? That's what we're wasting our money on? Who cares?
Good battery life.
It's all about not covering the assassination.
It's
After Friday, you won't hear about the assassination anymore.
Mm-hmm.
The assassination attempt. Mike, what are the thoughts of your colleagues at the, not naming names, but at the firehouse on the assassination attempt? Any words from you guys? You guys can usually settle all the world's problems over at the firehouse.
Oh yeah, yeah. We talk it out over coffee every day. I don't know. Probably the same as most people. Not the people that you hear online, but firefighters are anybody who works in public safety. Firefighters and police and EMTs. We know that things are still the way they used to be. When stuff hits the fan, life is still the way that it used to be. It's not the way that you see on TV or on social media. It is absolutely insane that we have gotten to a point where we are accepting of threats on the life of the president over and over again. And it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
Well, would you say the Secret Service needs to go to target practice?
No, I think the
I would.
activist
I would.
class
I
needs
would.
to be held accountable.
Those
and
guys
the revolution
shoot-
class needs to be held accountable.
Shooting their weapons, being such bad shots, none of them should have had a gun. Imagine shooting all those bullets they shot. I don't know how many. They said only 4 shots. I think there was more than that.
I
And they hit
wasn't there.
Rumor is they hit their own guy.
well, there it is. And I watched them, what I saw of them, and this guy go flashing by, and all I thought about was, oh my goodness, there have to be a whole bunch of Secret Service people in front of him that they're worried about hitting. They got him down. I mean, that's
He tripped.
well,
They were at a gala. I don't know what was in their mind, and I'm not going to pretend to think that I would have performed any differently. And that's another thing that people that work in emergency services know, that judging how other people handle an emergency is dangerous, because if you've never been in that situation, you're not going to
Well, then,
be able to give a great
looking at
opinion.
this-
The
look-
problem mostly is the fact that it is normal right now for people to think that revolution is cool and that Donald Trump is the devil and he's Hitler. That is the problem right now. And that is,
Well,
it's this whole conversation that we've already had, John. Education is pushing out nothing but activists. And there is not a need for activists. Everybody thinks this is 1960 and that activism is cool. and revolution is cool. Revolution is not cool. It's not. All these people calling for revolution would pee their pants if any type of revolution ever happened, or if they were put in some type of emergency situation. But they're encouraging it, and they're actually fanatical about it.
Well,
And that's the craziest thing that's going on
My question
right
still
now.
remains with Secret Service, they need to do target practice? And why was the president the last one off the stage? He was the last one off the stage. Like they're hoping, is the Secret Service hoping he gets killed?
I think they're afraid to move
I'd
him,
like to think not.
but I don't know. It's beyond my pay
Trump's
grade.
also pretty cavalier about it at this point.
I mean, the fact that the whole situation at that hotel, I mean, thank goodness he only came in with guns and knives and not explosives.
Good point, Linda.
He could have, I mean.
Yeah, it doesn't seem that it was a great plan.
With a
No,
bag, with a
because he
bag
was
of
still
Let's
hand
start
fine.
there. Let's just start there. That he could check in. Anybody could check in and wander around and not have a paper invitation. Are you kidding me?
Just think what a bag of hand grenades you could have done.
You couldn't get into the Democratic convention with a paper.
You drop your first hand grenade at the metal detectors,
Oh.
and you run in. Now that's going to explode, and running away from that scene is perfectly. He's just running away from the explosion. Runs into the room, starts dropping hand grenades all the way up to the stage. That's what could have happened.
Oh, it could have been. He could have done from up the floor above as well. I mean, and put an end to them all. But I just don't understand. And I agree with Mike said about the. I'm not sure these people even want democracy. We had an election. Whatever happened to elections? Now, we had an election for Obama. It wasn't my choice, but we had it, and I never said, I don't accept this, that he was the president. He's evil. Come on. Just because you disagree with them.
Well, the sore losers are still out there.
They're our leaders. They're our leaders. They're in the Senate.
Yep, Ed Markey's one of them. Yep.
Yes. They're our leaders, and they're the media, and people are buying into it. And I don't understand. Do you want democracy or not? Because you're putting it on the line.
Hey, but while
They're
we're
putting
talking
it on
about
the line.
Now's the time to sign up to run for election because May 1st you can't do it no more. You got to do it by the end. I think you got to do it.
What?
You can't.
Register to vote?
Yeah. No, you can't register to run for office.
Oh, to run.
Oh, for the state? Oh, yeah, the deadline for the state elections,
Morning.
for their papers. Yeah, but I'm really, it's so basic for democracy. I don't understand. You have an election, and they just decide they don't want to accept it.
Well,
I don't, then,
to be fair, that goes both ways. But they don't want to solidify the election system. They want to keep all this mail-in voting crap that slid in during COVID. That's another
they've got to
huge
stop
problem.
that.
And we treat it now, if we want to take away mail-in voting, they treat it like it's some constitutionally defiant act to take away somebody's right to vote. And it's like, this just started.
But,
It's just started within the last 6 years.
yes, and when they talk
This is
about
not
it,
normal.
they say, everybody agrees we ought to have an ID, and we ought to have, I think most Americans agree that you should have to go election day. This is ridiculous, not knowing the election for a week. We're not a third world country, but we're trying real hard to be.
Well, until something like the SAVE Act gets passed, we're just not going to have elections that people are confident in at all.
Greg Kelly.
If we don't go,
Out there. Thanks for letting us know. Appreciate it.
But
if we don't go back to like paper ballot voting on the day of the elections, and everybody puts in their vote and proves who they are on voting day, then how are we ever going to be confident in it again?
Comment from the audience. Greg Kelly, he has a show on called Newsmax. And if you look up 2 days ago, the show he had, he took this guy, Greg, took the time to look at all the video. And the caller just told me that there's video of them. They were taking these metal detectors, they were disassembling that equipment when the guy ran through it. And the Secret Service agents seemed to be on video playing on their phones rather than paying attention to what they were doing. And since when is it okay for Secret Service to play with their phones when they're on detail?
Particularly in the climate that we're in.
But
I
again,
wish
if you
he'd
go
just
back 2
stop trying to
days
kill my president,
on this guy, Greg's
whoever he
show,
is.
if you go back 2 days, it's a very interesting program. Also, wait, got a comment from the audience. The agents were playing on their cell phones. Security was extremely relaxed at the hotel, according to reports. Thank you for your comments.
Well, that's the other part of the conversation, John, is, there are a lot of people. Donald Trump changed the way that politics works on both sides in this country. And that's something that it took me a long time to realize that. When, 2016, I went to bed, I was never on board with Hillary. I'm so glad I saw, I always thought that she was just a hack and a liar. So I wasn't going to be voting for her. I think I voted for Gary Johnson in that election. And I went to bed thinking that, wow, if we elect Donald Trump as our president, that's kind of, that's sad. That's the way that I was thinking at that time.
Mike,
But it doesn't take long for you to start looking at, he's different, and he doesn't play ball the same way that other politicians do. And you know what? That lined up an awful lot with when I got into office. And people always ask for being a different politician. We need different politicians. We need different politicians until you get one. And somebody who doesn't operate the same way, and somebody who doesn't answer to the same people. And that's what he has done on the national level. And I felt the same way. I was getting called racist in the paper and online and all of these different things in a very similar fashion to the way that Donald Trump does now. Not that I'm comparing myself, but that's how, I think that's how it became clear to me. Because I saw him like, this guy is just different and he's not playing ball the same way. So there are people on both sides that, you started talking about the CIA and maybe we don't know who wants him to be killed or who's working to have him killed. It could be anybody involved in the system all around. And both sides don't really want him because things aren't going the way that it used to on both sides, just in politics on a national level.
in Congress,
and the people that are getting fat and happy forever and comfortable in politics are no longer comfortable.
it's likely Laura Trahan's biggest fear is he's going to take away insider trading.
Yeah, of
And
course.
speaking to the Hillary race,
Why do you think everybody wants him dead?
I remember watching Channel 5 the day after the election. I turned on the TV and they're not talking about who won. I say, well, Logan Airport got new snowplows and they're showing the new snowplows on. So what the hell's going on? So I start looking around, and lo and behold, Trump won, and Channel 5 didn't know what to do about it.
Why, you start thinking, why does everybody, this is what really got me believing more that Donald Trump is the person that we needed. And it's, why does everybody want me to hate him so much?
Well,
Why does everybody
Facebook,
want me to hate him so much? Like, why is that the direction that is being pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed? Like, that, it just doesn't seem right. Like, if he's that bad, then people just wouldn't like the guy.
My
But he got
response
the
is
vote.
997 days. That's what he has left. On Facebook, they say, give us a one-word description about President Trump. I put down fantastic. Some guy who I have no idea who he even is, lives down Cape Cod, because, you look up on Facebook where they live, tells me I don't have a brain. And my response to the guy was, 997 days, with a smile.
But then what?
Vance,
Of course, that's the other thing.
Vance.
Right. So, what's their end game? I don't think Vance is going to be any better for them. He may be more tactful,
No, but
but he may be more dangerous to them because he will be more tactful.
Well, the Democrats, if they take over the House or whatever you want to call it in Washington, Trump's not going to be able to pass anything.
He can't do it now. What is wrong with the Republican Party? Why can't, all right, let's just talk. You want to talk about the Secret Service? They're not getting paid. How long would you want to work if you're not getting paid?
We're stuck in
And
the
everybody's
slow
sitting in
creep.
that room of the reason they weren't getting paid.
The government's good for the money. When you send in your tax return, you fully know you're gonna get that refund. It's coming. It's coming at the speed of government, and it's coming. So if you're gonna give me overtime to work this detail, I'll be there. And you're gonna mark it down, instead of me making my $50 an hour, or maybe I make $100 an hour, I don't know how much I make as a detail on Secret Service, I'm gonna make twice that.
Oh yeah, they know that it's coming. They're not getting a paycheck
Yeah.
for the time
But-
being, but it's not like they're working for free.
The worker bees, the ones that are out there, not they can't make their payments. They can't make their house payments. They can't make their car payments. They can't buy the food. It's wonderful. They're going to get a windfall at some point. But how do you live day to day? None of us
Well, what
have
you
that kind of
simply do
money.
is, I've served on enough bank boards, you simply call your bank that you owe your mortgage to and say, look, I work for the Secret Service, it's defunded, eventually the money's gonna come, I can't pay my mortgage till then, how do you wanna work this out? And the bank will work with you. I don't know any bank that won't. You just gotta call, communicate with them, just don't send your check in.
So we what?
Communicate with the bank.
How long do we not pay these people? For what reason?
Ask Lori Trahan,
Oh, it's straight up
who
political.
doesn't take calls. Ask Ed Mackey, or the school.
They're getting paid.
It's
They're
only
getting
political.
paid.
It's political leverage, is all it is.
The minute they shut the government down, they shouldn't get paid.
Well, I was glad that they stopped going to the, escorting to the front of the line at the airport. I was glad they stopped that.
The whole thing is just depressing. I just, and you're right. And you're right, Mike, that it's both parties, and you're seeing that now. You're seeing the schism in the Republican Party. That, oh, well, now this is gonna. It looked pretty good when it was he was going after the Democrats, but he isn't just going after the Democrats. He knows where the fat is. He is not a politician, and.
He's a wild card in every sense of the word, and he's exactly. We should be.
That's why the people voted for him, though.
I used to think that we wanted like the everyman as our politician or our political leaders, and I've gone completely full circle. We need independently wealthy, successful businessmen from here on out as our no-nonsense politicians, because they can't be bought.
Yeah.
Everybody, insider trading, like John said, you take a plumber or just, your everyday man and you put them into Congress, they can't handle that. They don't have the financial stability to handle it, number one, and they're beholden to everybody who has money that is throwing it into their face.
Well, and it costs so much to run.
We need the most successful, business-oriented people that are independently wealthy to get out there and not be beholden to that whole money flying in your face situation. Because people just aren't capable of it. I don't know how you could be being thrust into a spotlight like that with all the money being thrown around. And if you have to take the money, then you can't keep to your word in the future.
Well, that's
the case.
I don't think that when they established this form of government, they envisioned professional politicians. That's not how it was started.
No.
It was started that it did represent the people. There were doctors, there were electricians, there were people that actually.
Google says they're getting paid. Secret Service is getting paid. I just got a text from, I think Bart sent me a text saying that check it out at AI says they're getting paid. So, I don't know what to say. The TV stations are saying they're not getting paid. And they're all getting paid.
But it's which slush fund? Okay, there it is. Which fund are they taking it out of that they're going to have to reimburse? What exactly? Now he's doing that. He's doing that. So
They have buckets and buckets of money in
That's
Washington.
theirs. Is that the pork that was gonna go back to the politicians, and now they've decided? I don't know.
Yeah, but this is just the Secret Service, right? The Department of Homeland Security is shut down. Secret Service agents are remaining on the job and being paid.
Well, then
through,
why is the TV station
slush
saying
fund
they're
money?
not getting paid if they are?
Well, nobody knows what's real.
You can't trust the TV stations
No,
anymore.
Oh,
you
of
can't.
course not.
Thank you,
John.
Bart. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
You haven't been able to trust the TV stations for.
No, because
I mean-
I will flip the channels just to see what they're saying, and we don't last that long because it gets so enraged that I just sort of go, I just saw that, and I know what I saw, or I know what I heard.
They're probably saying on the news today Donald Trump shot the CIA agent that got shot in the chest.
They
I
were
mean,
saying it was
you
staged.
can't trust
Yeah.
anything coming from them. And if you do watch the news, you just have to be dissecting it in a way that you're asking yourself, why are they trying to tell me this? Not, is this true or not? I mean, we're so beyond, is this true or not, that when I absorb news, I'm thinking, why are they pushing in this direction, and using that to decipher what may actually be going on. You can't be going into it as if they're saying anything that's real.
Well, you know, I know they don't want to hear about Iran, but it was the world's best interest, and the king laid it out yesterday and said he was right.
So
And they were holding back because of Iraq, and I understand that, in Afghanistan.
Mike, do you want more coffee? You good?
I'll get a refill.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to break because we blew right through the break,
Yeah.
and whoops. Sorry, this is City Life. We'll be getting more coffee, and we'll be with you in a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Yep, on. Welcome back to City Life. I'm Linda Bown. I'm here with Mike Dillon, former school committeeman. We're talking about the chaos and
Lee
everything.
Gitschier is gonna come another day.
But we're and again, we were just talking about Desi and the lottery, and for anyone that doesn't realize it, the VOC, there was a procedure that you had to meet certain criteria, that you couldn't have undocumented absences from school. You had you couldn't be suspended. There were discipline issues.
Very
and-
minimal criteria.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean,
Yeah.
they didn't have to. There was no grade, because I don't even know if kids get grades anymore. They just,
Yeah, and the criteria were not, they were just indicators for kids who will and will probably have success at the tech school. Like, they weren't, you had to be some scholar student, you didn't, not that, like, you didn't have to know somebody. It was, do you show up to school? Do you put any effort into your education whatsoever? And can you behave yourself in public? And that's very minimal.
And
But-
to me, it's a slap in the face to the minorities. They're saying, "Oh, the minorities that were being discriminated against." That's telling me you're trying to convince me that all minorities are undisciplined. I'm not buying that.
Yeah, well, the argument for it is just it's so backwards that it contradicts itself.
It didn't
Just
work.
like a
They
lot
had
of
it before.
Just like a lot of the other ideas in education that you only have to talk about it for a couple of minutes before the argument starts contradicting itself because it's so silly.
Right.
So
So I don't know where it is. I don't know if it's if they put it into action or whether it's still it can be challenged.
No, the kids that just got accepted or the kids that just
They got the right
applied.
number.
The kids that just applied, like right now, the 8th graders right now that are going in next year, they just got selected by the lottery. Because the state, this is, we were just talking about why doesn't somebody, fight back against it or where did the demand actually come down from the state? And the state actually took over the system. So, the Voc wasn't running their own lottery. It was done, as far as I'm aware. Correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but the state actually did the lottery. So you sign on. It's not like over at Greater Lowell, they had the ping pong balls, or they were picking names out of it. It was run at the state level online. So
What could possibly go wrong with
you
that?
just clicked and went on the website and found out if you were selected or not. It's my understanding. So,
Well,
they didn't have a choice. In other words, the Voc wasn't able to just say, no, we're going to do it our own way. It was taken out of their hands.
So they don't even know if these are the kids that really were selected.
Depends on how deep you want to go.
Well,
I mean-
because they did the same thing with public housing. They took all the public housing away from the towns.
If you don't trust the system that the state's running, then I guess you could go there. Yeah.
And so what happens now is you would apply to Lowell, and you'd go on a list, and you got and that's still the same. If you're local, you have certain preference. If you're a veteran, you have certain preference. Blah 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 blah. But then
Lee's coming next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. But then the people that were applying that want to come to Lowell or Tingsboro or wherever would deal with that housing authority. You don't anymore. In fact, the housing authorities don't even know where you are on the list. Once you submit an application for public
So it
housing,
sounds like it's the
it's
same.
exactly
Yeah.
that's why I'm talking about it, because it's exactly what they're doing in public housing. So what then the state does is, oh, you have an opening at Lowell, and it was just in the paper. I'm curious of what's going to happen there. You have openings in Lowell now? Well, we'll pull a list of the next group of people on the list. You don't know. They update that list. The city doesn't have that list. The state has the list. So they tell you who's next on the list. And they pull the next 25 names or 50.
What is a apartment renter pay Tingsboro Housing Authority? What do they pay? What's the average?
2.7%, or the most 30% of their income.
So if I make $100 a month, I pay $2.30 for my apartment. Correct?
Good deal.
They have
Or
to
if I
pay.
make
it- wait a minute,
$1,000 a
wait
month, I pay $100 a month?
No, you have to pay at least $5 to be in public housing.
At least $5. Okay. So
They won't go any, supposedly,
you say
but that
it's
comes from the state.
2.5%?
That just means because there has to be a transaction.
Yeah,
2.5%?
2.7, but yeah.
So if I make $1,000 a month, I pay $270, includes all my utilities.
No, $20.
Huh? I make $1,000,
200 be 20%, right?
2% of that, I have to.
$20.
Sorry,
Yeah?
not bad. $20.
Well, some of the families, they have to pay,
They're making as high as, they're
utilities.
paying as high as $100 a month.
and that
No
never
wonder you wanna Move
changes.
into public housing.
Yeah, well, that's why it's so hard to get in. And then the state has regulations that you have to have, again, you're gonna love this, it's minorities. And, did
So
you
you're
know,
calling
wait a
them
minute, I got the
minorities.
best one. For the state, being black is a minority. It's not considered a minority
So
if you're black. I'm
what's a
sorry,
minor-
folks, you're no longer I don't understand that.
What's a minority?
Anything but black and white.
See, I mean, I don't know. They're,
Hispanic and Asian primarily.
Because I got
When-
DNA from all over the world. I got Western European, I got some in the Middle East. So I got DNA from all over the place. I can be anything I want.
Well, they decide.
when the policy doesn't make sense, it will continue. The more situations that come up, the more they will just continue to contradict the end goal of the policy itself.
Well, the system's
That's-
still based on personal honesty. Nobody checks your DNA.
Right.
Well, for years, I mean, the fire department is a prime example. Affirmative action has been applied to our hiring in Lowell, and the Asian community is not even included in affirmative action.
Well, see, they're the
And
same.
we're in the city of Lowell. I mean, that
It's-
doesn't make sense for our population, even if you are trying to work towards the goals of affirmative action policy. It's
Well, the state taking over anything is a very bad sign. It doesn't work for anybody.
Well, we have to realize the
obviously-
government is not here to help you. The government's here to help themselves. I mean, you can tell the government the saddest story. You know what? My dog died. My wife died. I have cancer. And I just was robbed on the internet of all my money. And you know what the city of Lowell will say? That's a sad story. Give us your tax money. You know what the state will say? That's a sad story. Give us your taxes.
in fact, you filed your taxes incorrectly, so you owe
Yeah.
$120 more.
I'm so sorry for your predicament. Give us your money. The state doesn't, I mean, I have a lot of friends that chastise me because I pick on government employees. I'm not picking on government employees. I'd love to have a government job. But the fact is, come noontime Friday, where are you going?
Government employees are great, we just need less of them.
Like, how does the fire department put up with a 32-hour work week? You guys have a 32-hour work week too?
42.
You have a 42-hour work week.
Mhm.
But the city of Lowell has 32 hours.
I know.
How do
It's
you
insane.
guys? So your contract compensates for that?
For our 42 hours? Sorry.
You have a contract.
Yes, I'm sorry, I lost where you were heading with that, yeah.
If I work for the city of Lowell, I work for Tommy Golden.
Yep.
I work in Shitty Hall. I work 32 hours a week.
Mm-hmm.
How do the firefighters feel about that?
Yeah, it's pathetic. No, stuff keeps happening all weekend, no matter what the people in City Hall consider.
Well, do they give you an
Employment.
uptick in your pay to compensate you for the 32-hour work week that you're paying 42-hour work week?
Maybe. I don't know. I'll have
Oh,
to
it might
dig
be in
in.
there? Okay.
They dropped
To dig into the numbers.
the number, John, so that they can enroll them in the retirement system and give them benefits. The state is 26 hours.
26 hours a week?
It's full-time. And then you qualify for
No wonder
benefits.
the state troopers don't pull anybody over.
Then they qualify for all
off
the
duty.
benefits. It's about benefits.
I'm on overtime now.
It's about the insurance companies. It's
They're robbing us
it's
blind.
way beyond. It's just like when he mentioned the lottery, and it became clear now that it doesn't even come out of Lowell. Lowell doesn't get to pick who's going to come for housing. Lowell isn't going to get to pick who goes to the vote. Someone is looking at those numbers and
Linda.
deciding
Or who lives
were
in the
top.
double-
You can say that, but if you know somebody, you can get taken care
Do we get to decide who lives in the DoubleTree? I don't think we get a choice on that one
of. That's
either.
all secret stuff.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah. Have anybody tried walking in
And
there?
God bless you
Yes.
if you were on the list.
Yes.
What'd you get?
Turn around.
Turn around or
Turn
what?
around. Get out of here.
You can get shot in the back?
You're not allowed in here. turn around. And security's right there saying, sorry, you can't come in here, sir. We'll call the police.
Anybody who's worried about government control or, any of the, we don't know what's going on or what our government is doing behind our back, try to walk into the Doubletree Hotel.
Well,
Take
okay,
a walk
Mike,
down there and say, hey,
those guys are only doing what they're told.
I know.
Try walking into a firefighter. Try to walk into a firehouse.
Yep. I'll
You're
say,
gonna get turned around.
how can I help you? And if that will be all, then turn around and leave.
You're going to get turned around.
Well, why not? I mean,
So I see, they're only doing what their boss tells you to do, and the question to do is, ask the boss. And since responses are not required, city officials don't respond to letters.
We're
They
much
don't like
more
your letter,
responsive
they
to the
just
public.
don't respond.
well, they're busy. You can't get to see them. They're very busy.
Everybody's busy. I remember.
But no,
Ratty
that's
Mom
that's
used
what
to
you
say
hear.
that.
That's what you get.
Ratty Mom would tell me, I'm busy. I said, Ratty, there's nobody busier than me. Okay? So I make time. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing at the State House at 6 o'clock in the morning? You still wouldn't come. Don't
Yeah.
miss them.
Yeah, so I guess that my advice to anybody what you had mentioned, you got to start thinking why are these people so hostile? I mean, in the past in politics, people disagreed and they were Democrat or the Republican or whatever, and they voted and they won elections, they lost elections. If they lost the election, they tried to think how they were going to get reelected in the next election. They didn't just say, well, that one didn't count. I don't like him. I mean, and why don't they like him? I mean, it's, I don't know. Do you really think Iran should have the nuclear weapons? I mean, what is it that you don't like? What exactly is it that you think he should be assassinated about? How can that, can anybody justify that to
I
me?
don't think they think of an answer. They just get the idea of, I can be the hero for all of my friends if I kill the guy.
Well,
I don't think they think it through.
if you're Rosie O'Donnell, you're going to get your picture in the news every day because she's insane, and she says outrageous things, and so therefore you're guaranteed some acknowledgement. That's going to keep you in the public eye. It's crazy, but you're still there, and they're still talking about you, and that's what's important to them. But I just don't understand this. I just don't understand I've lost so much respect for legislators and the language they use. When did that become okay? I mean, you can't swear. We can't swear on cable, but the Congress people are. The senators, everybody's swearing. The newscasters are. I mean,
The president
why is it okay for them?
The
It's
president
not.
is. The president is. And like this business of Jimmy Kimmel, I'm sorry, he's on way past my bedtime. I never watch the guy. If I wake up at midnight, I'll turn on YouTube and watch a 1955
Yeah.
TV show. I'm not watching Jimmy Kimmel. I don't think any of those guys are funny. But the president was glad somebody was dead a month ago.
Yeah.
So it's not right the way the president is running his office, some of the words that come out of his mouth, and he does not apologize, and he's not going to apologize. And I'm sorry, he's being a crybaby if Kimmel picks on him, because he did the same thing last month. He was tickled somebody was dead.
That's right.
I'm glad he's dead. He can't hurt more people. What the hell kind of statement's that?
So how do we tone it down?
I
Because
got-
they
I got a question for you too. What do you think the major or largest challenge for my generation will be? I don't know. I mean, I look at past.
Keeping up with the cost of government. The government expenses is becoming bigger and bigger, and the government can't afford itself. You're looking at a retirement system, and you're depending upon a retirement system that likely can go bankrupt. And if the Commonwealth of Massachusetts goes bankrupt, so goes your pension. Your pension's gone.
Mm-hmm.
And it needs to be drilled into all union members We have got to protect our pensions. You guys gotta break out that pension money and keep it sideways. Keep it away from the freaking state. Because look what the federal government did with Social Security's money. They blew it. That's why Social Security's going out of business, because Congress robbed it. And they are robbing your pension money, and all your unions have got to get together and separate that union money and keep it protected so you guys get a pension when you retire. Otherwise, you ain't getting a pension. The government can't afford itself.
Social Security is all going to the DoubleTree right now.
Yeah.
And the
Where that money's
26-hour
going.
work week.
Yeah.
The 26-hour work week enables them to hire 100% more people. It's a 24-hour day.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? My generation. What is our?
Well, AI scares me.
Mhm.
I think people are losing track of what's real, and it's getting harder and harder to know what's real.
I agree. Though I mean, the more I start thinking about it, when I think what people are thinking, or what is going through people's minds today, I think back to like I say often that we have it too easy, and I think in a lot of ways that we do. And you talk about like the greatest generation, all the past American generations that have fought wars and been through poverty and built great things, and it's all been physical, really physical and sacrificial, like labor. And I think about what our generation has that is even comparable, and it's tough to come up with something that you can compare to dying in a war for your country, or building all the like great cities across this country. But the more I keep thinking about it, I think it's the overcoming of the rapid increase in technology that has happened in our lifetime, and I think it's my generation's responsibility to maintain some sort of reality, and continue to think logically and think in the real world, and not think or react to us using and getting our information through the technology. And it doesn't sound like going to die in World War II, or building a nation, but I think it's just as grave and just as important.
Well, I don't know how your generation. I'm not that good with the computer and technically, but I know that people my age have all been taken advantage at one time or another. But now it's gotten even worse. How do you know? How do you know that they say, well, I don't. My company doesn't send out, do anything online, except you can't do anything unless you do it online. Everybody wants you to pay online. They want you to communicate online. The state wants you to communicate online.
I know we're leaving people in the dust in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
If you're not caught up on just use of computer, phone, for sure. But that's why my age group specifically, I think has an extremely unique perspective. Not me personally, but my age group of within 3 to 5 years on either edge of where I'm at, because we've seen both sides and we've grown up with the technology in our possession, but we also know what it was like prior. We're young enough that we're savvy with the technology, but we're also old enough that we had a childhood without it, and we were able to live into our late teens and early 20s and know what real life is. And so I'm hoping that we're able to keep a hold on what is real and stay sane through it. I think it's a challenge, because we see what it does to people, and what just the behavior that we've been talking about this morning, and the lack of a frame of reality in your brain is driving people crazy, and it's made for crazy times. But
Well,
I think
it's
we have
hard
to
to
keep our
know
heads at some point and
what
and
to
really,
believe.
It is.
If you
Yes.
watch channel X, you get one point, and Z, you get a totally different story
Yeah.
for the same event. And and it's not just the AI and the not having any real handle on it. It's not healthy. It's not healthy for the children. It's
No.
not healthy for adults. I ask you about the hiking, the father's hiking event that you do with your friends and the kids. Kids don't do that. Parents aren't doing that.
Yeah,
They're putting sit
Well,
the kids
my
down.
generation's trying. Like we're trying, and we're caught between this. Teaching our kids about the technology and making sure that they do have a grasp on it and they don't fall behind their peers, and also like exposing them to the outdoors and teaching them how to start a fire.
Yeah.
So we're kind of like balancing that huge range of exposing our kids to life and the things that they're going to face. I hope that we can keep our heads cool in the process and somehow figure out how to best prepare our kids, but it's difficult.
Mike, I'm gonna turn the question around to you. What
Yeah.
do you think your generation should be most worried about?
I think that's the conclusion I've come to, is that, well, because it's hard. I want my generation to be strong and to have something as cool as, we won a world war, or we did these great, amazing
You mean
feats of
World War
strength.
11?
Yeah, World War 11. Yeah, I hope I don't have to fight in World War 11. But it doesn't sound, this is the challenge of my generation. That doesn't sound very cool or difficult, but if you just look around, it's hard to even realize how large scale the problem is, I guess. It's just not as clear as just a fight or a large physical accomplishment, but I think it is. I think it's just as drastically dangerous for everybody. We spent most of the morning talking about how crazy people are, and I think it's part of my generation's job to maintain level-headedness.
Well, mental illness is being ignored. Two comments from the audience. Speaking of UMass hotels, a chef at UMass Amherst campus killed his wife at the campus hotel last week.
Ooh.
Another comment from the audience. The Democrats run the state. Why do the voters keep voting for Democrats? Good question.
Well, I hate to be too philosophical, but I think when we stop believing in God and thinking we were the superior being, they have nothing to believe in.
Faith is
They
coming back.
really do believe that this is it. If this is the best, it's kind of frightening to me.
Well, when you have people out there that are blue underwear Democrats, by that I mean they have blue socks, blue underpants, blue T-shirt, or blue bra, and that's how they get dressed. They don't get dressed with God in the morning. They get dressed with they're a Democrat. And there are a lot of them out there. I mean, for somebody to take the time to tell me I'm crazy on Facebook, that lives on Cape Cod, why is he on my page?
But, John, on the other hand, you always say, and you're absolutely right, there are more unenrolled than there are Democrats or Republicans.
The unenrolled,
So people do know they don't want to be
the unenrolled
Democrats.
are lazy. They're lazy. The only time they're going to get and going to go vote is for president. That's it. Because look what happened with the audit. We voted in an audit. What happened? They got a big bowl of nut and honey.
Well,
Why should I vote? It's rigged.
You've got to give
Trump's
Diana DeZoglio props for at least still trying.
You can have Diana DeZoglio. She's a fantastic gal, beautiful personality. Comes to the show anytime we ask her. She makes time for it, and the State House doesn't care. Your state rep doesn't care. Your state rep is lined up behind the Speaker of the House because they don't want to take a $30,000 cut in pay. I didn't know if you're on a committee, you get a $30,000 pay raise. You get 30 grand to be on a committee. So, Linda, you either do what I tell you, or I'm going to take your seat away in that committee.
And you've seen that happen to reps.
Oh, who's going to side with otherwise?
Another committee.
Well, Mike's,
Every time we come up with a new rule, we
study.
have a committee for it. I know.
30 grand apiece?
Wow, for the reps,
Yeah.
every committee.
Every committee, I'm told, I don't do a lot of homework, I go with people. People are quick to correct you when you're wrong. I remember Kevin Murphy, loved the guy. If I was off $1, I was wrong. That's wrong! Well, how much is it, Kevin? It's actually $1 more. But I was wrong for $1. And he was right in saying that, but he could have just said, you're off by $1, John. But no, that's wrong. That's completely wrong.
That's how the news puts
Yeah.
out their information right
Yeah.
now. They'll claim something's false when just the first part of the sentence that you said was off by a word, and they'll claim the whole thing is false. And it's just language deception. It's not a good way to operate.
maybe your generation, because each generation wanted to give more. And so my parents and then my children, and maybe there's nothing more. Now you realize it's up to you to show them what's really important, that it's more important to go out and camp. It's more important to play outside, learn a sport, keep healthy, eat healthy. I think finally people are starting to realize that they've been sold a bill of goods on food. They've been eating with their eyes and not good health.
Yeah, I feel that way personally, for sure. And maybe that is part of it, is kind of just pulling the mask off. Like we've tried to you keep trying to make things easier and better for the next generation long enough, and it becomes too easy and really not better in the long run. Maybe we can pull the mask off of that thought process and get back to what really works again.
You're seeing more people your age home tutoring.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Homeschooling is
at some point, it's gonna
homeschooling
be
is
good.
not odd anymore. I mean,
No,
it's
no.
it's actually encouraged.
And When you reach a point, there are going to be more of you homeschooling, and you're going to say, I'm not going to pay for these schools. This was supposed to be,
Linda, it's kinda
I was
tough.
owed an education for my children, not anymore.
Have you noticed in your paycheck, the state takes their money before you get it?
Yes.
By the way, it's a 4-year anniversary to the shitty manager. He was sworn in 4 years ago.
4 years ago. And he has, how long more, he has
an evergreen contract. He'll just contact his buddies on the city council. I want an extension. He'll be there as long as he wants to be.
Well, I wish they'd keep the superintendent as long as he
You
wants
better
to
give
be.
my sister a job or else. Give my sister a job.
Well, we got to put all the eggs in your basket, your generation, because I think that we've brought it to a point that it's not healthy. We're realizing, though. Don't you think we're realizing? I'd like to think we're realizing that this isn't working for us. That's why they're home tutoring. That's what COVID did. That's the only upside to COVID. It showed parents they weren't getting the education for their children that they thought.
it certainly made it perfectly clear.
So,
Yeah, I mean,
and that's a good thing. That's the only thing I can hang my hat on, that was a good thing. So maybe by seeing that, I'm sure they try to intervene, but if you can't intervene and you know it's stacked against you, then you educate your kids yourself. But
Yeah.
and at that point, then you have to say to your community or your state, I'm just not going to pay those taxes because I'm not getting anything for the taxes.
well, yeah, and that's the problem. It's a tough ask for parents to, I mean, not only have the time to the time, the know-how, and giving up at least one career in your household or one source of income in order to make homeschooling happen.
Ain't gonna happen.
If you can do it, it's
I think
would
that
be
you're seeing more of it.
amazing.
I'm telling you, but, okay, when you were a mom, and your kid was at home, there were no cell phones. There was one car at the house, one TV set with rabbit ears. And now, every kid has an iPhone. They can't have a cell phone. They have to have an iPhone. Every kid has to have cable TV. Every kid has to have a car. The expenses that the parents have today compared to when we were parents are probably twice what we paid, if not 3 times.
That's why it's tough for my generation to complain about not being able to afford a home and not being able to afford it. Well, your standard for living is way, way, way above what prior generations were. Like the house that you live in, the need for a cell phone and all of these, just the baseline of what we think is the standard of living
Plus student loans. Who would
is
loan?
insanely higher.
Who would loan an 18-year-old $100,000? The federal government does for their
ridiculous.
education.
We are way past the time when college is beneficial to students, and we don't see it yet, unfortunately. We're going to keep sending kids to college for probably another 20 years before actually people start to pull back and realize that it is not, it's already, and we're probably 10 years late already or more, when it's just not even financially the correct decision to make when you're 18 years old.
That's why I push for every school committee person that makes time to come here. I push for a better financial education in the school system. Personal finance has got to be taught in every grade. Oh, yeah, that's stupid. Really? How did you learn personal finance? The hard way like I did?
After reading, writing, that's right. That's the next thing. The next most important.
Personal
in
finance.
my opinion, yeah.
Personal finance, how to handle your money.
Yeah, man.
And coming up, they don't want to talk about it. Family values. You get married, it's a lifetime. It ain't.
And that's probably
It
third
ain't for
on the
2
list.
years.
Yeah. But don't you think?
Divorce should be a lot harder than it is.
I'm hoping, that this generation is going to see that. And going back to the education, and you say, and John says, everybody's got TVs, everybody has. So why can't you do homeschooling? It's all right there in your house.
You can. It's
Because
just
I want to
there
watch
is-
Oprah. I don't want to go to class. I want to watch Oprah.
Well,
I want to watch.
but
the
you know
Price-
what,
the Price
John?
Is Right is better.
Then you can apply the discipline you want to your child.
I'm watching The Price is Right. I don't know about you.
Well,
Go do your homework, honey. I'm watching The Price is Right. My favorite show's on.
You have to go
It's hard to. It's hard
against
to
the
teach.
grain very directly.
It's hard to tell a kid no.
Well, I think education is outpricing itself.
It already has. College
I mean,
College
you've
is
got 4.
no longer, and it hasn't been for a long time. It has not been worth.
Well, thank God for the free college called
Partaking.
Middlesex.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But free college is great.
it's not free. Everybody's
paying
still
for it.
getting paid there.
Well, just like when the firefighters come to the house, it's not free, but
Yeah.
they're not charging you. It's an opportunity you have to get a great education. Get over to Middlesex Community College. It's free. Their online courses are free. Take advantage of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. They will.
They're not.
Because you know why? Because they can still work, and they're not putting all their money into an education that they're never going to use in liberal arts. So I have hope. I have to have hope I do think that you're seeing a generation that is turning more to God, that's becoming more respectful and looking into yourself and deciding what's important.
Yeah, for sure.
Because nobody's put it out there for you anymore. You can't tell who to believe. So I think that you're going to just, I have hope in this generation, much more so than the last few.
So we got like 22 minutes to go. Anything on your mind we didn't talk about yet, Linda? And the same
No,
thing goes for Mike?
things about the town meeting is next Tuesday,
Okay.
so,
Where are you gonna have it? How
we
many-
have it at the, elementary school on Westford Road,
Okay.
and,
Is it on TV?
it is on TV, but you can't vote from TV. You have to go and, town meeting, you have to physically be there.
Okay.
And then the next week we have the elections. And in Tingsboro, interestingly enough, we have people, the races are contested, which is, again, that gives me some hope.
Well, a lot of the towns, I know Dracut has, because I was with Phil Tebow last night, Dracut has their election this Saturday. I don't know when Tewksbury's election is, but
Are they contested? Are they haven't? Because we didn't for
you mean, are there more than one candidate
Yeah.
running?
we've got.
Oh, in Dracut, there's a ton running, yeah.
Oh, because I think Colin, they have a class now that residents can attend and learn about town government, because people don't understand town
What are
government.
you paying them? What do you pay a selectman? Zippity-doo-dah?
No, they never paid them though. They get a little bit, they get a stipend, but back my day, they didn't even get that.
Linda, a study should be done, and I'll pick on Colin when he comes, because he's kind enough to make time to come. A study should be done. What's the value of a selectman? What's the value of a school committee person? What should we pay them? And pay them that. Because, I mean, this mom or dad is leaving their family, serving the town. They should be compensated. That's just my take.
Well, I don't have a problem with that. I don't think we should be paying them top dog, because you have managers and
I
you have
just want-
superintendents.
Do a study. What are they paying selectmen? What are they paying city councils in Nashua? What are they? Look at all the sort. Just within 10 miles of the town, what are they paying everybody? And if it's
Well,
zero,
wait.
it's zero.
It's no different if you're talking, they're giving back to the community. People give back to the community in many different ways. Now,
So-
all the
So do
commissions,
firefighters. So do policemen. So
Yes.
does the city clerk, the town clerk.
They
They
get
give back to the community
yes.
and they get
But-
compensated.
but
I want them. You don't have candidates running for a job because they can't afford it. Only rich people can afford to run.
I see now. Well, as far as the big offices and we've created that monster that we pay. I can't believe what it costs to run an election. But it's what about all the commissions and the committees that people, the Council on Aging, the conservation, the planning board,
I go right back to somebody who's working on the planning board. They lost their job. Their wife just died. The dog died. And they have cancer. And they're going to die. What does the town do about their tax bill? Pay up, buddy. Pay up. I just think it's high time the towns and the cities compensate their board people, and they'll get better board people for it. Why should I have to sacrifice so much to serve on a board?
I don't think you're sacrificing that much. I think that and again, I'm going to tell you, in Tingsboro, where they've got these classes, the people learning what is out there and what they can. People like to give back to their community. This is
Linda?
something they believe. It affects them. It affects them.
I quit all my bank boards because I can't get out of the house as much as I used to. But I was getting $500 an hour to go to these meetings. That's pretty doggone good money, ain't it? To go to a bank meeting, I'd get $500 to go.
Yeah, but they're only going to take business people. They're not going to take the average citizen that wants to participate.
So the planning board should be getting how much per meeting? Zippity-doo-dah?
Yes, I'm sorry. I
What do you think, Mike? Should the planning board get zippity-doo-dah?
It's a tough one. I mean,
where you draw the line.
I know. Well,
It's service to the community, just like a firefighter. It's not as life-taking as a firefighter, but it's still service to the community.
They're not doing it every day either.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, when they do it, They gotta find, you gotta go and do your homework before the meeting, go out, check the site out. If you wanna be a good person on the planning board, you gotta go check see what the site looks like. You gotta do your homework before the meeting. There's more than one site they're gonna talk about during the meeting.
Yeah.
There's homework to do. I just think that they're not compensated like they should be.
But except, do you get compensated, well, you get compensated in the bank boards, but do you do your homework on the bank boards? You have someone else to do that.
They send me a packet a month before, this is what we're gonna talk about, and then they send you another sheet, this is how we want you to vote.
That's it, and see, that's not how I want my government to run, my town
You
government.
don't think the appointing authority tells them how to vote?
Oh, I know they don't.
They don't?
I know they don't.
In Lowell, they
And
do.
well, yeah, but I'm talking about the committees that you know, again, that you're, the planning board, the Board of Appeals, the conservation, all those small committees, the Council on Aging, very important.
Well, then, Linda, going along that thought, I'm gonna throw Mike under the bus in a second. How is it we have no parking in Lowell? No parking. You can build a nice tall apartment building, 56 apartments in it, don't have to have parking. The planning board approves it, you know why? They're afraid they won't be reappointed to their seat.
It's because the environmentalists want to force everybody to not drive because they think it's gonna save the planet.
You can say no, they have no guts to say no.
Uh-huh.
I vote no, I'm not gonna give you permission to, you got no parking, you don't have to have parking. I understand, that's not how I see it, you have to have parking. The law is wrong. Fix the law. Well, you pay $300,000 for a condo. Okay, we bought we'll get a brand spanking new condo for 200 grand, they don't exist. 300 grand for a new condo, no parking.
Well, shame on the person that's buying the condo that doesn't know they have parking. It's no different if you buy a piece of property that's on top of a hill that you're going to have to climb up that hill or try to drive up that hill in the winter. I would like to think that most people think about that. How am I heating this when people go out and buy a piece of property?
Len, we both know young couples, they just want to own property. And they're going to get it at whatever level they have to. They'll go over whatever obstacle they can, but home ownership is there. What are your thoughts, Mike?
On the parking issue itself or home ownership?
Both.
I agree. I think we need to make owning property something that is important and available, but our goals are going in different directions, and the environmentalists and all the regulations, the building regulations in particular, make it difficult to build anything affordable. I think we need to keep building more homes constantly, but here in Massachusetts, we want to tie people's hands so much and regulate things so much that things move at the speed of government as far as that goes, and that's not helping the prices for anybody.
Parking?
Parking again, that's all environmentalist crap. It's heavy-handed enforcement of using your vehicle less. It's the same that our in Massachusetts, Maura Healey, the whole bunch of them, they continue to push policy that it's the reason we have bike lanes. It's the reason gas costs more right now. It's because they are trying to force us to take on the environmental act for the entire world, like they think they can change the world. They think that they are God in a way. That is taking on godlike form when you think that you forcing us to not use more gasoline is going to save the planet. And it goes back to activism. We have too many activists, John, who think that we have some grand plan just to move away from fossil fuels is going to save the planet.
How many trees?
You out of your mind?
How many trees do you think they cut down to build your house?
A lot.
Well, where's the environmentalists for the trees?
Trees will grow again.
Well, wait a minute, John.
The earth is greener right now than it's been in a long time. Is there a lack of greenery? Is there a lack of greenery anywhere
It's
around
beau-
this
when you go
point?
up in the drone, it looks beautiful.
I'm sure it does.
Looks like Ireland.
Yep. And that's
Well-
a good thing.
Massachusetts, they just threw the trees under the bus because now you can't use plastic anymore.
Trees are old news, Linda.
Can't use
Trees
plastic
don't
for
even
what?
trees don't even matter anymore. We'll cut down 1,000,000 trees as long as carbon dioxide is the enemy right now.
Remember we had to have
That's
the
the
paper
enemy.
straws and because
The enemy
the
changes
plastic.
every 10 years, and all these people that think they are God and they're going to save the world, they're not going to save the world. Pick up trash on the street if you want to save the environment. Make your neighborhood look a little
Couldn't
cleaner.
have paper bags, John.
You think that you are going, with some policy, Maura Healy, are going to save the planet? You're out of your mind.
Now they're going to have
It's
to
a
have
God
paper
complex.
bags. 10 cents, though. They're
It's
going
a
to be able
God
to charge you.
complex.
Well,
And it's
what if
driving
I-
up the prices for everybody who wants to try to buy personal property right now and have their own car and travel freely. That's what I think about the whole housing and in the parking
Now,
situation.
I noticed when my wife comes home, she brought a treat yesterday, Twinkies. They're still coming in clear plastic, the Twinkies. They ain't
Yeah.
coming in paper yet. Also, bag of bread was in plastic.
Yeah.
The milk carton, plastic. So why can't I have a plastic bag at Market Basket?
Because Massachusetts decided, just like they did when they said you couldn't have
Why didn't
paper
they-
bags anymore, you had to go with plastic.
Then why didn't they go after the bread people?
Because, John, without doing any work whatsoever, you can feel good about yourself somehow that you are contributing to saving the planet.
Mike, when I grew up, all
It's
the
pathetic.
milk cartons were cardboard.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Why don't we go back to cardboard? Worked for my generation.
Well, I'm going
Because
to,
because you don't really want to do any real work. You just want to project that you care about the environment, and that satisfies it. It's just like putting a pride flag on your desk. Like, you want to just project that you are a good
Give me
person.
my pronouns.
well,
That's gone away, though.
the dairy people
Going away, but
will push for the paper again or the cardboard if they can charge more.
If it's going to save them
If
money,
they have a good lobbyist, that's where it will go. It's all about the lobbyists. Who has the best lobbyist?
well, and that is a real problem with the environmental efforts. Like, having environmental goals is it is a worthy cause, right? I mean, I care about the environment, but I just don't. Money has taken it over. Recycling is a prime example. Like, it's a noble effort to reuse waste and to be efficient with it. But as soon as it becomes a financial windfall, the cost now of recycling is a joke now, because the cost of actually recycling materials has gotten so great, and it's been driven up so high that it's not even in many ways it's not even a worthy venture anymore.
You can't
We end up,
fo-
we
you
end up
can't
throwing
follow-
out plastic that we
you can't follow a recycling truck. Where's it go? Nobody knows.
yeah.
Well,
Yes, well, and it's been co-opted, and that's the environmentalists suffer in that way a lot. Is their efforts get co-opted so much, and it's just so overblown, and have so much money thrown at it that it just gets diluted, and then it becomes a process that is like not worthwhile anymore. And so that in that way, I feel bad for the environmentalists, because a lot of them want to really actually do
but
good
it
work,
goes.
but they're wasting money to a level that is unsustainable.
Well, isn't that the
Actually
problem?
hurts the poor.
We're not teaching people how to recycle and what to recycle. When we had Gunther, everybody knew exactly what they could recycle.
I
And
hate
you know
to tell
what?
you, but that's only for financial purposes. That's not actually
I don't
getting
think we're
things to the right
recycling,
place.
Linda. I don't think we
Everything
are.
you throw in your recycle bin, it doesn't matter what goes in there. It only matters for the amount of money the city pays for their recycling services.
But why do they pay that? Because people put the
Because-
wrong things in and they
because
can't take it.
Yes,
Linda,
but
people
that's
can't
because the
comprehend.
recycling
Go ahead, Mike. I'll finish. I'll take over after you.
the people that are doing the recycling, it's more work for them, so they're going to charge. They can charge the city so much money because it's such a good business that the city is coming down on the people to get them to put only the right things in the bin so that they get charged less money. The gravy train is so good for the recycling business that they can charge this, they can just keep upping the price and say, we don't want to sort it ourselves, so you can't throw these things and these things and these things in the recycling bin, or we're going to charge you more for it. So the city says, bad people, don't put these things in because we're paying too much money for it. That doesn't mean anything for what's actually getting recycled and what actually happens in the process.
Mike, I'm told there's no recycling bin at the firehouse.
No, there's same as the city.
There is? Because I
Same-
never see the
same
green
as
barrels
everybody
out, I
else.
just see the red barrels out.
Well, and maybe they don't get them out for a week, but we operate the same as a typical
So
household.
you can recycle.
Yes.
Okay, well, the biggest problem recycling in the city has is people put bagged recycles in the recycled, and they're unacceptable. If you have so most people, they collect all their recycles in a garbage bag. They take that garbage bag and they put it in the recycle. You can't do that. You have to untie the bag, empty its contents into the recycle barrel, and then take that garbage bag and throw it in the trash. And a lot of people just can't process and comprehend why they have to do that, but they have to do that.
I know they have to do it. And Gunther used to all the time he was on this show at least once a month explaining that to people, and people it did bring the cost down. People I think people for the most part, want to do the right thing. If they know that if I throw the pizza box out with the grease from the pizza, then it's going to throw my whole barrel off. And they're not
Plus
going to
the
be able
fact that when you run out of
for whatever
barrel
reason.
space in your red barrel, the green barrel looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I see people who go to the train station, they bring their trash, put it in my trash bag, in my trash barrel, and go off to the train. It's on video. They park right across the street. They don't pay for parking at the train station. They walk to the train station, take the train to Boston, but they have their trash in their trunk, and they put it in my barrel.
Bizarre. That's bizarre behavior. Antisocial behavior.
In Salem, New Hampshire, they don't pick up trash. I can't get over that. I thought it was a federal law. The town has to pick up trash, but not in Salem, New Hampshire.
They got a dump.
Yeah, see, Dorian has
Yeah.
a dump, which I think is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Except we didn't control the landfills. You can have a landfill, but you can't be letting them dump hazardous waste in the landfill. Although, we're going to see, they're going to try to do something with the dump in Tingsboro. So,
What are they gonna do with the dump and things?
I don't know, they're coming in,
Who's to say?
they just did a wetlands check on it, and the people are thinking they've got something up their sleeve they'd like to do with it.
You know who Mike Rowe is?
Yes.
Yeah,
Dirty Jobs guy?
Yeah.
He's got a scholarship program that he's raised millions of dollars for that I've just been looking into. It's like trade scholarships, which is I should have brought up earlier. Could have talked about it, but something to look into as an alternative for college.
Yes.
Anybody who's got kids approaching college age, he'll pay for your training, apprenticeships in all kinds of different trades, and all you have to do is apply and basically agree to be a hard worker.
I'm gonna come back to that in just a second.
Yep.
Tomorrow's City Life, we got Evelyn Thorne's gonna be the host, Sam Chase will be here, and City Councilor Sidney Lang, he's gonna be here tomorrow. So Mike, how do I go and apply for this college help?
I had the website, Mike Rowe.
Just look up Mike Rowe
Yeah,
Scholarship.
Mike Rowe, R-O-W-E. He's the guy that was on Dirty Jobs,
Okay.
the show now, and he's been promoting the trades for a long time. And he's got a scholarship foundation that it provides people that going into trades and other skilled jobs.
Yeah, you just gotta go to Mike Rowe Scholarship and it tells you all about it.
Yeah, Yeah, you can go right on there and you can apply right through the website. And he will, any type of training program, internship, anything that you can make a
There it is.
good. Yep. But all the trades and even more jobs than you would think. I mean, beautician, like, cutting hair. I mean, anything that you can think of that is not a 4-year degree. Even some healthcare professions.
Work ethic scholarship. I thought that was kind of an
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. He's got his sweat pledge, which is pretty much just you want to work hard and have a good life. It's pretty easy to agree with, but
So go to Mike Rose Scholarship 2026. You can learn a lot more about that. Thanks, Mike.
I'm
Yep.
gonna write that down.
it's a pretty cool program.
We got
Sounds
60 seconds, kids.
Well, Mike, thank you for getting up. Shame on Lee Gitschier sleeping in.
It's coming next week. You
Yeah,
can chastise him then.
But I appreciate
It
it.
happens.
And
We'll bust them for it.
very interesting. I always have an interesting conversation with you. You have a lot to say. And
I gotta say happy birthday to Penny.
yes, 4 years old.
She's 4 today.
I remember when she was born. That was very exciting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Penny.
Yes, yes. 4. She's on her way now.
Hey, we'll
now
see
she
you
goes in
tomorrow.
kinder.
Happy
Hey,
birthday,
everybody have
Penny.
a good day.
Thanks for watching.
Is she in kindergarten?
Preschool.
Preschool.